Welcome to Save As Ability, a podcast to educate and inform you about disability employment issues. My name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Save As Ability. Great to be back with you, David D'Arcangelo. And as we're concluding here in 2025, I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all of that. We'll be back early in 2026 with all new episodes. So I don't think we're going to miss a week. I think we've recorded enough to be able to get us through. But if we do miss a week, don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Talonzo and I will be back for an all new 2026. All right. So we appreciate you. And if you can keep us growing, that would be great. So share, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help us continue to have great content for you. So we've got some great guests coming up too. We've got those arranged. We'll be doing those in early January. So, but today I wanted to talk a little bit about independence. I did get a couple of comments from some recent episodes that we've had about some of the disability benefit programs. And a couple of people were like, hey, you're always talking about government programs. And you know what? You're right. There is more to the human condition than being involved in all these government programs, right? And really, I think what we need to do is think about how can we get away from that, right? How can so many individuals with disabilities are so reliant on the benefit programs, whether it be their health care, whether it be their housing, their cash benefits, whatever the case may be. So, we're not advocating for an all or nothing here at Save As Ability. You know our approach. Our approach is if we could reform things all at once, that would be nice. But that I don't know how realistic that is. So more likely it's going to be incremental because why? Well, you need Congress. You need the executive. You need you need court rulings. You need all three branches coming together to be able to change these long-standing programs. Okay. So, but I do think overall that the less you can be reliant on these government programs, the better off long-term you're going to be, particularly for working age individuals with disabilities. So I guess the title of this episode then would be Beyond Benefits Independence or something like that, because really what can we do to become as independent and self-determined as possible for working age people with disabilities? So to me, it's about having the government benefits be that safety net, okay, but not the full life plan. All right, so that's what we're talking about here. And we'll start with, let's go to the data. All right, so according to the Social Security Administration's monthly statistical snapshot, check this all the time, the average SSDI benefit was about $1,588 a month in November of 25. And then the average SSI payment was about $718 a month for the same month, right? So what does that equal? That's basically what, like 28 grand a year, somewhere around there. So, okay, that's good. And that's like sustenance level. But these programs were never meant to be like the middle class, like these programs prevent free fall but they were never designed to be like a stable, middle class, upward mobility, American dream type of thing. And if you treat them as that, if you treat them as your long-term plan, what's going to end up happening is you're going to become financially fragile, and you're not going to be developing the abilities and talents and skills that you have to be marketable in the private sector or the public sector, but in a work atmosphere or a self-employment environment. Okay. And I think that's the goal to upward mobility. I think that's where your best prosperity is going to be. All right. So it's using these benefits as a bridge to get a little bit of a foothold with credentials and, schooling, whatever the case may be. Make sure you have rudimentary things in place so that you can access the private economy, all right, and not be reliant on these government benefits, because reliance can really be this trap. And we've talked about this in previous episodes. We'll talk about it again, because what it does is the rules punish saving. and they punish investment, and they really slow your momentum, okay? The benefits cliff or coverage gaps, whatever you want to talk about, however you want to phrase it. Let's look at one particular program, for example. Go back to the data. So SSI, for example, has a countable resource limit of $2,000 per individual, $3,000 per couple. These are structural barriers to building wealth, to building prosperity, to building financial success. Okay, so like by being on these benefits or relying on them so heavily, you're not really going to be able to tap into the real prosperity that we're hoping everybody can enjoy. All right, so what does the data say? Well, let's look at like one particular example, like a Medicaid Buy-In option, okay, for working age people with disabilities. There's a great report out there by the Kaiser Family Foundation that, let's look at Medicaid Buy-ins, which is a particular thing which allows you to kind of shield, I guess, part of your benefits, okay? These are available in about 47 different states, these Medicaid Buy-In programs. All right, but even these programs include income and asset limits. And for example, the median asset limit of $10,000 is for individuals in 2025. So, I mean, does it help? Yeah, but is that like the solution? No, clearly no, because we've looked at the data, the labor participation rate, the unemployment rate. So when the system requires you to stay poor to be eligible, what it's doing is it's freezing you out, and it's training people to avoid growth, and it's training people to stay within the confines of the benefit program limits. I assert that's not dignity. That's not independence and self-determination for people with disabilities, which is what we advocate for here on Save Disability. So as well-intentioned as many of them are, the limits haven't kept up, number one. Number two, there are limits in the first place. Maybe that should be number one. Anytime you're placing limits on somebody's ability or earning capacity, that's not a good thing. That's dependency. We don't want that. We don't want dependency by design, which unfortunately what has evolved in these programs over the past, 5 decades or whatever. So, all right, Dave, how do you fix it? Well, I propose an incentive that I call something like, I just came up with this, but I've had other things, disability as a qualification. This I'm calling Freedom Stack. And basically what I would do is I would allow higher earnings, benefit counseling services that are real, okay, and having the people at Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid all be on the same page and not work out of some POMS manual that nobody can interpret, and it's so, Byzantine rules and regulations. Reduce the regulations, allow for more savings, make sure that everybody has an ABLE Act account and a health, pay-in account that they can pay in and control their own healthcare. The president's just come out with a great proposal. Why are we funding insurance companies? We should be funding citizens so that they can be making the determinations of what to do with their healthcare. Let them control the dollars rather than these large systems. All right. So, we can do this, and we can avoid catastrophic coverage failures and benefits cliffs and all of that. All right. So we've seen this. We've seen that the principal lever of value creation is making good on somebody's talents and abilities, entrepreneurship, self-employment. We just had this in a previous episode. Focusing on an individual's talents and abilities, that's the way to go. And we've often cited the Bureau of Labor Statistics data that indicates, this is 2024 data, that the employment to population ratio is 22.7 for people with a disability, as compared to 65.5 for their non-disabled peers. That isn't a gap, that is a chasm. And the only way we're going to fix that is by significantly altering and reforming these policies, these programs. That includes the laws, the regulations that have been in place for decades. They haven't gotten it done. So over the past 5 decades, the biggest disability policy failure is not the people who need the support, and it's not those bad people with disabilities. No, they're dealing with the programs that are given to them. Okay. The policy failure is that too many have been programmed to be kept out of the economy by these disincentives, these program limits, and these caps and all this other stuff. It's We got to fix that. We got to fix that. All right. So independence comes from producing value that people have inherently, their talents and abilities. So we see true access here, true access to opportunity here at Save Visibility. So this government-first approach has failed a large majority of workers with disabilities who are either not participating in the workforce or unemployed, or even worse, underemployed. So many are underemployed. Well, we have future episodes coming up about that too. So government support should incent and provide access to participation, not replace or inhibit it. Okay, so the more you can get away from these government programs, and I got it. You need the safety net. I've been on the benefits before, okay? So when I get into these policy meetings, one of the first questions I usually ask people, by the way, they've done great reports and they're smart people that have gone to great schools, but they've never been in the programs as a participant. I've been in these programs as a participant and an administrator, and now in the private sector, and so all around it. So it's one thing to, from the Ivy League tower, preach, oh, this is what we should do. Go wait in the Social Security line and tell me how that works out for you. So less government means more individual opportunity for you, okay? So that's what I think people with disabilities as a group are starting to embrace more, because they see the failures of these programs and they see that it's just really not getting the job done for them. Let's provide access to opportunity to pursue independence and self-determination. That's the American way. All right. So prosperity is coming, folks, slowly but surely, for people with disabilities, all Americans too. A rising tide will lift all ships. So I hope you appreciated this episode. Put in the comments if I got it right or wrong, or you want to see more on this. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate you. It's David D'Arcangelo, another episode of Save Visibility. And I hope you have a great day.
For more information about disability employment issues, please visit our website, disabilityemploymentsolutions.com. The Save As Ability podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our YouTube channel at Disability Policy Expert, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment. Save As Ability lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #TheNewRadio. Again, my name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Until next time. Thank you. I hope you have a great day.